Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and this is the reading for 2022 for air signs I'm doing today. And the cards have been difficult to shuffle. I need a new deck, maybe. The cards I'm using today, here goes one, is by the Faery Tarot deck by Doreen and Radleigh Valentine, and the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette-Baron-Reid, and the crystals that I use to focus some energy on are from Rainbow Runner in Hamilton, New South Wales. First card I pulled is the High Priestess, and this works well if you're working with spell work. The High Priestess talks about a spiritual leader, a priestess, a high priestess that's gifted naturally with the talents of witchcraft and gifted with the ability to foresee the future as a psychic medium. Everyone has the ability, they just need to know how to tap into it. To enhance that ability, I like to use lapis Egyptian. Helps with the throat chakra to speak your truth, to communicate your words, to communicate your thoughts and your feelings. The best way for you to clean your aura is to go for a walk in the wind. The wind will clean your aura of negativity, and water is a very good conductive element to help cleanse your aura of bad energy. Water signs are drawn to water, as are air. Air is fluid, it's not fixed. Water is fluid, it's not fixed. They both vibrate very similar. So sometimes I'll get cups in a reading relating to water signs because the water and air are similar in movement. The symbol for the water is the upside down triangle, and symbol for fire is the vertical triangle. The next card I pulled was the Ten of Cups. This talks about an emotionally fulfilling time with family or friends, raising children wisely, and people you can trust. You may have a circle of friends around you, or group of people that are family, or friends that are like family. It also speaks about seeing family, maybe from distant shores if you live far away. In the past, it says your ego was your main problem with learning. You didn't want to be told how to do a thing a certain way, or you didn't like to be shown that there had to be a sequence of events in order for something to work out. I can remember when I was doing maths at school, I hated maths. But the reason I hated maths is that they wanted me to show the working out on how I came to that conclusion. Half the time, I just came up with it in ways that they didn't understand, or focus my attention to a problem solving like that. They wanted me to do it in a set order, and that's how teachers teach maths. But you air signs come up with things that are off the grid, that aren't the norm. And there's the Tower card. Recent past, life experience, Aquarian energy. We're coming into Aquarian season. The ego is to do with the past, the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. This is also about addictions, addictive personality traits you may have. You may be addicted to certain substances as well. And your ego could be this thing that stopped you, your pride and ego, from saying you were sorry to some family members in the past. Or you may have been very stubborn when you were younger. So the Tower moment lets go of belief systems that no longer work for you. An important life-changing event, a situation that leads to opportunities. It can be an explosive argument. It can relate to a house move, or a sudden change that wasn't expected or foreseen. Or maybe it was foreseen and you ignored the warning. Okay, I'll pull this pile. You have to always trust your intuition. Never doubt it, because it will lead you to the right conclusions. That wanted to come out. burden. You may be heavily burdened by family. They may be coming to you for advice, and they may be coming to you for direction. But everyone is lost at the moment, and it's very difficult to give out advice when they too are lost. It says here you're doing too many things, you're trying to be there for everyone, but you can only look after yourself first and foremost before you can look after others. And all those burdens on your back are not yours to bear. They could be past mistakes, families' past mistakes, or things that they wish they could take back or fix or change, but the past is the past and you can't live there. You can only visit it occasionally. We have a black and white energy around us. You may see things in black or white. You may not know how to see grey, for example. But for every court case and every legal situation you may find yourself in, there is a grey area, and you have to look at that. You can't be a very cut and dried person all your life. The Sun, this is a good card. It also talks about working with small children. So you may be in a profession that's a teaching profession in the future, where you work with little minds and big personalities. Difficult people, difficult interpersonal relationships, or children that are hard to work with, challenging behaviours. But the Sun says things are going to work out really well for you, and you'll be grateful. It also talks about higher learning and education. The Sun being with the unicorn is relating to some of you may have a British background, I'm picking up, because the unicorn and the lion symbolise the crown. The lion is the king of the jungle, therefore it is the top of the food chain. And we're in 2022 energy, which is the year of the tiger. And that would be tiger's eye. Leo energy is around you. Strong. Tiger's eye. With the tiger, it's all about taking chances, taking a risk, jumping out into the unknown. Sometimes we're not ready, we don't think we're ready for the unknown, and other times we may make leaps or bounds, or sometimes we make tiny steps, depending on how ready you are or how far down your journey is how far or how quickly you'll make these steps. I was channeling a bridge 3 nights ago, and I was wondering why I was on that bridge, and I got the name Park Avenue, Park Street, something to do with that. And I asked, I Google searched it, there's one in Sydney. It is Park Street, it's near Motorvale. But then there was the bridge that looked like something that wasn't from here, it was from a foreign country. So then I was online looking up just images that came up on YouTube, and I came across a picture of a bridge, and Rob Patterson was on the bridge, and I'm thinking, what? Why? How come I saw that? And it was a memory of his. I connected to a memory of something that was past. That was a past memory, a happy memory. And that's what drew me to the bridge, which is interesting, because I wasn't thinking about him, I wasn't stalking him online. It was just something that came up in my YouTube feed, because it picks up on your last search or something. And so I got that image, and I'm like, that image is for him. That's for Rob. I had to convey that work, that he needed to know that that was a happy memory with family. Happy time in his life when things were going really well for him. Maybe he was just reminiscing and going through photo albums and decided to post it, and I'm not sure. But it came up 2 days after I saw it in my sleep. I astral travelled to it. Maybe because it was a big event and all the family members were there. We've pulled here the 7 of Spring. This is doing for fighting and standing up for what is right, standing up for your justice, not someone else's justice. You are defending yourself. So if you're in a situation where you feel you have to defend yourself, be assertive and don't back down from what you believe. Courageously stand up for yourself. Draw firm boundaries is what I'm getting for air signs. You need to draw go and make a picket, go and stand out in front of the White House or stand out the front of the Parliament House and make yourself known, and make yourself heard, that you've drawn a line in the sand because someone's crossed a boundary. And when someone crosses a boundary, you get angry because it feels personal. Then we've got here the Moon. The Moon card talks about powerful epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear and understanding the truth of a situation. The Moon is also to do with a full moon and reflection, thinking about, well, how you could do things differently, or how you could change a set of events that may have occurred. It's reflecting on past mistakes, and it's also reflecting on how you can do better in the world, how you can push forward or help people without harming yourself, without letting your guard down. Let your guard down to people that you can trust and not ones you do not. And trust is very hard to get back once you've broken it. It takes time, it takes compassion, and it takes empathy. And then you can only empathise with someone that you truly feel deserves empathy. That fighting spirit is part of your makeup air sign. Is quick to anger, quick to whip up into a frenzy, and then be very sad about it later that they've been angry, because all that emotion has been bubbling to the surface for quite some time. The air sign gets whipped up very easily because the emotions are buried. They're deep emotions that you may be looking back on something and wishing things would be back to those days when things were simpler and people were able to go and get jobs and able to move on with their lives. This COVID has destroyed everything, and it's destroying families, and it's destroying businesses and work opportunities. It's destroying our future. We have to find a way to fix it. We have to find a way to solve this riddle. And maybe we need to look back in the past to discover what they did to get rid of the Black Plague. There must be something that they did or knew about. The old things that worked are the things we need to return to. I don't think the vaccinations are a sure 100% proof for everyone. I think they've come close. I think they're doing a really good job, but I think we need to find other solutions, quick, fast, efficient solutions that will benefit our nation and protect our children's children from further attacks, further chemical warfare. They've got the 9 of Autumn. This talks about having your own business, starting your own business, and maybe it's something that you're good at or something that you've been doing for a very long time. It's something that doesn't cost a lot to put out there. It's a thing that you're naturally, innately gifted with. This is a thing that people need right now. We're looking for solutions to all these problems, and this is our solution: is finding ways outside the box, not the norm. Like the child that couldn't learn maths, they had to think outside the box and how to teach that child, because how is that child going to learn? And in the future, you've got a King of Spring. This is Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries star sign around you. You may be meeting through a group communication, through study, but there is someone coming for you who is a fire sign. They're inspiring, they're wise, they're theatrical, they're very diligent, hardworking, and they've got their honeybee pots in the background. That's them busy making more resources. It can also do with someone who loves the stage, who is on stage. Maybe they perform in a dramatic setting, a performing studio, or maybe they've got an online business. But this person is an acting ability, and it comes naturally to them. All children are little actors, every single one of them, and that's their favourite place to be, is in the land of make-believe. That was a song I remember hearing. Bucks Fizz, I think, wrote that song. The land of make-believe. Now these are my oracle cards. Geranium oil, that's something that's old school, and I used it when I was not well, and I sprayed it. I still spray it on my face every day, and it balances out your hormones, but it also kills off any microbes, microbial type conditions like cold and flu. So geranium is the best thing. And you can mix it with water and mint and green tea. I used it in a hand sanitizer. That wanted to slide out. No place like home. Home is where the heart is. Unfinished symphony. There's a song. I was picking up that song, The Land of Make Believe, and that is an unfinished song. Some of you could be songwriters. 10. Or you like to sing. That's another thing. Maybe that's a way to express that. All that trapped up energy in the throat chakra. To unblock it, you need to speak up for yourself or sing it out. Unfinished business is an incomplete lesson, a lack of closure that needs to make amends. This is a time to tie up all those loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or a project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that the emotional and psychological closure can be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. And then no place like home. See how the home is stuck up in the middle of the Andes. It's like you've got to walk up a forgotten path to get to it. And it's up in the most unusual area. It's up in the clouds. It's in the air. It's in amongst the sun and the moon, in the place in between. Moving on just is difficult when love lingers. Things are left unsaid and you haven't had the opportunity for closure in this relationship and in your heart. You can still feel bound up in relationships where closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have that conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept matters as they are. Make amends if need be and declare your feelings even if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved and close the door on the past so that you can set yourself free. Only then can new love blossom. Making sure you complete projects that you have started before you start new ones. If you don't see it through, it won't add up to anything but clutter. Now's the time to put your nose to the grindstone, complete the task, pay your bills, sign the documents, do your filing, hand in your assignments, complete that piece of work, of art, and tie up loose ends so you can move forward with surety, knowing you're on the prosperous path and feeling refreshed and excited about the future. Yeah, it's past. The year is past. We're in a new 2022. Things should start picking up, I'm hoping, very soon. But the first month is Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy is all about restraint, restriction. Last year was 2021. It was a Capricorn year. Restraint, restriction, budgets, being held in bondage, being imprisonment. We were imprisoned in our homes. Authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify. As you claim your dignity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing the eyes of the soul, of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of your spirit and spirit. Lovers, friends, and companion animals are at home in your life right now. You are in sync and full of love, and you can be secure in the knowledge that it's reciprocated. Relationships elicit a sense of emotional safety, of protection, and of comfort. And the best aspects of familiarity is now. Be home in this relationship. Together you add to the love of the world. When you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what it is in your highest good. Your business choices, the investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. So just be authentic. If you're doing your own business, if you're starting your own channel, just speak from the heart, because that's what knows. I was watching a show the other day, and it was called The Discovery of Witches. A really, really good show, series. And the girl in there had been spellbound by her family when she was a child, and she had no idea. And she had this natural ability to find books that she needed, and she found this one book called The Ashmole, 782. It was a book of alchemy and the beginning of time and how man was created. The book of life. But pages were missing. And the book had been missing for hundreds of years. But she found the book. The book was magnetized, drawn to her. She went finding it with her fingers. Law of attraction. That book found her. And it branded her. It branded her hand. And then she discovered, after a while, that the only time her magic could come up and help her was when she was trying to protect herself. So when she was protecting herself, that's when they call it the witch wind came out of her, and this storm came out of her, and she could push over her enemies with this wind. And so the wind was what was her ally. She called upon the 4 elements, and that was one of them. And then she started finding all these parts of herself that she had unlocked, that had been spellbound from these parents that had passed over, these witches. It's a very good show, but it shows you the power of protecting yourself is key. I think if you can protect yourself from harmful words, harmful people, then that's the greatest gift you have. Cry for nature. Yeah. I drew this 2 weeks ago. I really liked their picture of it. So we have the Fairy Oracle. And it's called The Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle. Guidebook by Lucy Cavendish. And the pictures are done by Selina Fenech. Beautiful artwork. She does also the Oracle of the Mermaids and Oracle of the Dragon Fae pictures. Cry for Nature is 8. Mourning for something sacred which seems lost. You can see how sad the fairy being here is, and how she weeps for which was cut down before its time had come. This old tree represents knowledge and all that was once held sacred and secure, as it was the home of this fairy. Now with its destruction and murder, she faces a time of deep grief. In your life too, there may be that which caused you very great sadness, when something that feels like a part of you has been taken away, well before its time has come. The grief you feel must be honoured and expressed and felt, for then healing can take place. There is no shame in crying, for which seems to be lost. The tears are the water that brings new life. So do not feel you must hold back. This card indicates deep sadness and inner frustration on behalf of the questioner when confronted with the enslavement of the environment. Animals, marine life, elemental life to man's needs, the effort to overcome these institutionalized brutalizations of our flora and fauna, of our earth, Gaia, can seem so very, very great and can take so much energy. You may feel as you fight this good fight that you barely are making any progress at all, that you are restricted and thwarted and overwhelmed. But the efforts you make will do more than change things. They will make you very strong, and you'll be sending a ripple effect in our world. often without even knowing who you have inspired. Do not underestimate the impact you have. This is the card of the person who loves where they are, this planet. This person may be passionate about animals, nature, trees, and protecting this earth. This person realises they are as a child when faced with the ageless wisdom of all the creatures of this wonderful blue and green planet. Human wisdom is but one form. The being who has drawn this card is one with great elemental energy, who can rid the environment of toxic poisons and environmental pollutions, like the unicorn. The unicorn was used as a symbol, and its horn was dipped into, I'm still getting royalty images, the royal king and queen's food to stop it being poisoned. They would use a unicorn's horn to serve them wine or water. Again, we're talking about healing something. This card is about divine protection. This magical planet enjoys from its special earth warriors. This person, this card signifies that has this earth warrior energy, the earth spirit, in terms of all who are attuned with this new earth energy, and we all have this capacity, regardless of age, religion, race, creed, family and background, and our issues has the chance to change into a person of the new earth. Meaning we cannot be discriminatory towards any man, plant, animal, shrub, person. I like this one. Carry Me Home. This is 27. It's a 9 card. So you've got 5s, which is to do with building and to do with creating and work. And you've got 1s, which is beginning, and endings, which is the 9. 27. See these beautiful beings? Can you feel the loving trust that lies between them? See how she leans on him without shame or feeling weak, without self-criticism and embarrassment. See the bliss on her face flowing through her body and relaxation, and how strong he is and how he loves her and how he welcomes this time when he can carry her a little farther on the path. He welcomes this. There is no resentment, no pain, and nothing to owe for the gift being given at this time. Now is this time for you to allow another to carry you for a time, to give you and support you on your way home, to take this time to lift you up and move you further along the path. Because there are times in our lives when we are tired, but we are still happy, and even happier if someone can let us rest and carry us forward in this happy yet exhausted place where we have done good work and fulfilled our commitments to ourselves. Can you finally allow yourself to accept the support of someone who truly wants you to lean on them? When you learn to surrender, support in many forms will come, and that is what is happening for you. True love is a dance of giving and receiving, and this time it is your turn to receive, to be carried and to be supported. So expect someone to make your concerns their concerns. Feel and know the love of the fairies through intense love of another, which is peaceful and soothing to the soul. Feel their strength and love, and feel the sweetness of allowing their support. Close embrace, delicious submission to love. So someone new is for you this year. It's coming, and it's a fire sign. Passionate, a lot of energy, argumentative. They tend to like to argue. Librans get on really well with leaders. And that's the end of the air sign reading.